Chapter 6. Valuable Tools Gathered During Recess. First things first. A year or so after Tiffany was born, Darla Isaacson, a beautiful woman with short, dark hair and a ready smile, came to speak at our women's church group. She shared a loving and wise message, highlighted by a demonstration that greatly impressed me. Darla filled a large glass jar 3/4 of the way full with beans, which she said represented the dozens of mundane chores mothers had to do every day. She then added golf balls, which represented the most essential of physical care, such as showering, grooming, and exercising. The jar was already overflowing, so she was unsuccessful when she tried to put tennis balls in the top, which she said symbolized the most important ingredients of all, such as daily spiritual care. This included reading scriptures, praying, and pondering. After emptying the jar, she began again. This time she put the tennis balls in first, and then the golf balls, and finally the beans. Everything fit. She testified that if we would put first things first, anything the Lord needed us to do that was really important would fit into place. Her words, her spirit, and her demonstration touched my heart. I tried following her suggestion the very next day and found it invaluable as a stabilizing habit. Before Darla's suggestion, I often felt guilty. I wanted to have my scripture study and prayer, but I didn't always get around to it. Her testimony inspired, encouraged, and infused me with determination to put spiritual things first. A paper, a pencil, and a prayer. A month after Darla's presentation, I began taking a class she was teaching at a local college. It was there that I first learned about cognitive therapy, a form of emotional therapy journaling developed by Dr. David Burns and explained in his book, Feeling Good. Darla taught us Burns' 3-column approach to clear thinking. First, write down what is bothering you, including what you're thinking and how you feel about it. Next, in the middle column of the paper, analyze whether a particular thought is true or false, and pinpoint from his list of distortions, such as mind reading, labeling, and fortune-telling. Finally, talk back to your distorted thought on the right-hand column.
I have found that cognitive therapy is a simple yet powerful exercise that can make a big difference in handling the negative emotions of life, yet it can be confusing at first, especially if only presented in an audio form. Therefore, in autumn, when the leaves were so abundant, I created 2 YouTube presentations entitled Leafing Your Negative Feelings Behind. They help explain this process. The videos can be found on my website, patriciapotts.com, under the Videos tab, or on YouTube by typing Patricia Potts. You can also refer to page 69 in your book or download that page from my website, as well as other fill-in-the-blank cognitive therapy forms. These can be found under the free downloads tab on my website.
I'm going to go through an example of how to do that. If you take a paper and divide it in 3 columns, we'll begin on the left column. These are the thoughts. She's rude. I feel so hurt and mad. 2. He judged me. He must not love me. I feel so hurt and sad. 3. The house is a total mess. It even smells like old tennis shoes. I feel so embarrassed. In the middle column, the one that goes with she's rude, would be labeling. The one that goes with he's judged me would be mind reading. The house is a mess would be all or nothing. And now, the third column is talkbacks. Number 1. Maybe she didn't listen, but that doesn't mean she's rude. There are many reasons why she may not have listened. She may have been distracted. Number 2. Maybe he did say something I thought was unkind, but that doesn't mean he doesn't love me. I remember when. Number 3. It may be messier than I want the house to be, but that doesn't mean that it is a total disaster. The bedrooms are actually not that bad. What I can do right now is to write a list of what is bothering me and then prioritize it, then ask for someone to help. Maybe my kids, my parents, siblings, or a neighbor may be willing to help. Learning this kind of organized writing was revolutionary for me. By including it in my morning study, along with scriptures and prayer, cognitive therapy became a spiritual experience and a way to clear out negative feelings and rethink. I could always come up with something that was bugging me that invited the use of my newfound skill. Little did I know that I was practicing for a real battle up ahead, where I would be using this skill several times a day. Cleaning out my vacuum cleaner. One morning when I turned on my vacuum cleaner, it made a loud, whiny sound as if to say, "Leave me alone." Then, to make matters worse, it spit dust into the air, causing me to sneeze. Next, it refused to pick up a thing. Coughing and sneezing, I turned it off and sighed, resigning myself to the disagreeable task of opening it up and pulling out the bag. As soon as I got the bag out, it was easy to see why I couldn't pick anything up. It was clogged with dirt all the way down, even into the hose. What an analogy for my own life, I thought. Too often I let my emotions build up and clog things up instead of cleaning them out. Even after I learned about cognitive therapy, I found myself procrastinating. Just as I had put off emptying the vacuum bag, I didn't want to make the time to get into it. Eventually, I developed a one-page circle the answer form that helped me to evaluate my feelings in a timely yet efficient manner. I developed this form after 20 years of experience with cognitive therapy. It employs ideas I gained from the 12-step recovery program, Dr. David Burns' book, Feeling Good, and more ideas from my friend Darla and things that I learned from the School of Hard Knocks. You can find these forms in the index or on my website at patriciapotts.com. We began teaching others what we had learned. The more I practiced and benefited from cognitive therapy, the more I wanted to share it, along with other ideas that were helping me keep my mood up. I developed a 6-week class about overcoming depression and taught a class at the library on how to overcome depression. I also began speaking for church groups at the prison and various other places. Through the last few years, Darla and I had become close friends with similar goals. As we dreamed and prayed, we also decided to create an organization offering support groups called Coping Network, where women could come for emotional support while we waited for more doors to open for the magazine. We combined forces with Cher, a dark-haired, enthusiastic, and visionary woman who shared our dream of helping women. We taught introductory seminars at a local college and focused on truths that fostered peace. During this time, Darla and I experienced many highs and lows as we sought balance in our own lives and as we continued rearing our own children. Darla had 5 sons, and I had 3 daughters at the time.